मेरी तरह होता अगर खुद पर जरा भरोसा, तो कुछ दूर तुम भी साथ साथ आते। रंग मेरी आंखों का बांटते जरा सा, तो कुछ दूर तुम भी साथ साथ आते।
छोड़ दो, रे शोभा या सरिता में छपेगा या कोई अठन्नी डाल के चला जाए।
Welcome to this special episode of What's So Special on Vikramaditya Motwane's 2010 directorial Udaan, which is one of the best films that Bollywood has ever produced. In today's video, we will be understanding the cinematography, the gist, and finally the thematic depth of Udaan, including scene by scene analysis wherever necessary. The cinematography. Udaan explores the story of Rohan, played by Rajat Barmecha, whose journey underscores breaking away from the confinement he is tied to. This includes breaking away emotionally, mentally, and physically. The film is set in the same order, defining the character's journey. The emotional dissociation is dealt from the beginning of the film, as Rohan's father Bhairav Singh never visited his son while he was studying in a boarding school for about 8 years. Rohan returns to his father after coming out of his boarding school. The relationship is excellently depicted, where both of them meet and travel for hours together without speaking until there arises a necessity. The film, which starts off with the light-hearted opening sequence of Hostel Masti, where Rohan and his friends sneak into town at night to watch an adult movie, shifts to a dark, gloomy atmosphere as Rohan enters his sterile and minimally decorated house. The film's color palette suddenly shifts to muted and cold tones like blues, greys, and industrial browns. Colors that match the film's aesthetic usually define the vibe of each frame in any sequence. Bright colors imply a positive anticipation in any scene. This was used brilliantly in case of Anurag Basu's Ranbir starrer Barfi. Let's just observe this particular scene. Now, I have edited this same scene, making the colors a bit cold. Let's have a look and take the discussion further. As popularly said by Sanjay Leela Bhansali, every color has a soul. I dress my frames as I would dress a dancer on stage. This apt use of colors is also seen in movies like Haider, Devi, recent All We Imagine as Light, Sapta Sagaradache Yellow, and many more. Most of them being inspired by the Chinese film In the Mood for Love. Now, let's get back. After this shift, wide angle shots are introduced to set the mood. On the other hand, handheld shots were the major option used in the opening scenes, depicting secrecy and a feeling of immediacy. As the film is set in the industrial city of Jamshedpur, the sky and surroundings are never bright, which also adds to the emotional intensity of the film. As of now, all the important characters are introduced. Let's have a look at them one by one. Rohan, a carefree soul who loves writing and hates his father. His aspiration of becoming a writer is borrowed from his mother, who passed away when he was a kid. Bhairav Singh, father of Rohan. He is authoritative, abusive, rigid, intimidating, fear inducing, cold, and unempathetic, and at the same time, isolated, emotionally repressed, and deeply insecure as a person. Arjun, stepbrother of Rohan, who has been living with Bhairav Singh, leading a life under tremendous pressure of a disciplined lifestyle imposed on him from a very early age. Jimmy, Bhairav Singh's brother, living nearby. He has no children of his own and serves as a kind of support system for both Rohan and Arjun, helping them deal with Bhairav's atrocities. The character introduction paves the way for the film, with Rohan's struggle to fit into a new world and his delayed acceptance of his stepbrother Arjun. All decisions regarding his life are taken by Bhairav without considering any of Rohan's wishes, leading to several clashes between them. As already mentioned, the character of Bhairav Singh is established through often used close up shots, his wide open, piercing, and unblinking eyes, and the body language or the mannerism he carries throughout the film. One important sequence from this part is Rohan's first morning run with his father. The empty streets and industrial landscape emphasize Rohan's isolation and entrapment. This also underscores Bhairav's characteristic of being socially distant and aloof in such a city. The morning run that usually ends with a short distance quick race includes elements like Bhairav designating Rohan as a man only when he defeats him in the race. This clearly demarcates Bhairav Singh's understanding of masculinity in a traditional way and the toxicity that he carries. The gist: Rohan joins an engineering college in the city against his will, and at the same time is introduced to the factory to work under his father's supervision. The setting of harsh, noisy, and metallic environment in the factory contrasts with Rohan's love for silence shown since the beginning of the film. Let's have a look at this particular scene before we understand this. In this particular factory scene on his first day, Rohan stands behind a desk encircled by relentless machinery. He watches molten metal being violently hammered, each strike echoing like a brutal assault on his strings. The mechanical clangs here become a metaphor for his creative spirit being forged, suppressed, and reshaped under the weight of an imposed reality. It's not just the iron being beaten into shape, it's Rohan's own future, stripped of poetry and pressed into conformity. In this backdrop, Rohan finds solace beneath the open sky, skipping college to craft his poetry, where silence becomes his page and his escape. The film's central theme finds renewed resonance when Rohan's dreams begin to take form, most vividly seen as he starts narrating his stories to small, eager audience that includes his half-brother Arjun. Through these moments, director Vikramaditya Motwane employs the technique of curiosity-driven engagement, using the attention of listeners as a subtle marker of passage of time and Rohan's growing self-belief. This was also the case in Tamasha, where Ved narrates a spontaneous story on the street. In the case of Udaan, it's not merely storytelling. It's Rohan reclaiming his voice in a world that consistently tries to silence him. Actually, Udaan is a film with minimal verbal exposition of emotions. The piano theme by Amit Trivedi plays the role of silent narrator, which also adds depth in the story, giving a very soft texture to the world that is filled with harshness, metallic sounds, and industrial noise. Themes used in scenes like that of Rohan writing the poetry, or that of carrying Arjun, or the reflection on life goes hand in hand with Rohan's character arc. However, as the narrative unfolds, this hopeful trajectory is undercut by the harsh weight of dependence.
अगर इसे मेरे घर में रहना है, मेरा कमाया हुआ खाना है, पहनना है, तो मेरे ही हिसाब से रहना पड़ेगा.
Bhairav, in an act of absolute control, terminates Rohan from his education and forces him into the oppressive rhythms of factory life. This imposed reality gradually erodes Rohan's sense of identity, pushing him into a crisis of self. His bottled fury erupts in a scene of outburst, captured with raw intensity in this cut, where he violently smashes his father's car. Motwane frames this moment with striking details, the stroke of movement, and the silence between each blow, and the close ups of Rohan's furious face. It's a masterclass in visual storytelling, a scene that has since become emblematic in Indian cinema for portraying internal conflict and emotional collapse. In that chaos, we don't just see rage. We see a young man cornered by life, desperate to reclaim control. Such scenes carry greater impact, resonating with the helplessness the character undergo without wasting much time in the narration. The thematic depth. Let's discuss this scene to understand what Udaan stands for. In this scene of the film's cathartic climax, Rohan finally breaks free, delivering a searing punch to Bhairav, the man who had tried to crush his spirit at every turn. It's not just an act of defense, it's a declaration of self worth. As Rohan sprints away, Bhairav, for the first time, is left behind, struggling, breathless, unable to catch up. The image is striking, the oppressor falters, and the dreamer wins. This reversal is profound. Rohan's physical escape becomes a metaphor for emotional emancipation. His potential has not only survived the weight of oppression, it has outpaced it. In that fleeting, sunlit chase, we witness a generational shift. Bhairav's control collapses, while Rohan's flight becomes unstoppable. It is freedom, not granted, but seized, earned through pain, courage, and unrelenting will. This flight is not just Rohan's pursuit of freedom, it becomes a deeply personal responsibility as he chooses to take Arjun along, a symbolic act of breaking the cycle of silence and suffering. As Rohan and Arjun walk into the golden horizon, the harsh shadows of their past give way to the warmth of sunlight, a visual metaphor for liberation. Released in 2010, Udaan quietly arrived in the shadow of the massive success of Three Idiots, a film that echoed similar themes of youthful rebellion and the pursuit of one's true calling, a parallel even acknowledged by its co-writer and producer Anurag Kashyap. While Udaan did not succeed at the box office upon release, it found its wings over time.
सी थ्री इडियट्स ने जो कहा है ये फिल्म उसको थोड़ा और आगे ले जाएगी.
I would love to end this video with lines from Break On Through to the Other Side by Jim Morrison used in this film beautifully.
देखो, day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on to the other side.